All right, people can hear me. And it's also important to acknowledge, pay our respects to the elders past and present, and acknowledge their ongoing connections to lands, water, and culture. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. I also want to thank the candidates that have turned up today. Sorry if I miss anyone, but I can see Scott from the Greens, Philip from the Liberal Nationals, Tony from the IMOP party, Angela, who's running as an independent, and Tony from Animal Justice. Thank you all for taking the time to come down today. It really does mean a lot to us that you're here and willing to listen. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, I'm Tom, and I work for Solar Citizens here in Townsville. I'm also an economist, which is a big and scary word, but it means I look at a lot of spreadsheets. So Solar Citizens, we're an independent community-based organisation working to protect and grow renewable energy in Australia. You know, we believe that Australia's millions of renewable energy supporters stand together, and we're powerful when we do. We run campaigns that use people power to put pressure on decision makers like Phil up the back there. Hey, Phil. So we can bring about a renewable future for all Australians, where everyone has access to clean, cheap energy. And Australia has some of the best solar and wind resources in the world. So, you know, we reckon that more renewables backed by storage is a no-brainer. And 5 million people in this country agree, because they are living under houses with solar panels glinting on the roof. It just makes sense, right? Like, especially here. Townsville is the sunniest city on the east coast of Australia by a long way. We've got nearly 320 days of sunshine a year. We even have paint companies, like international paint companies, come to Townsville to test their paint because we have the strongest sunshine. Like, why are we not harnessing that for all of us? Come on, like seriously. Why aren't we building out large-scale renewable energy when we have all the resources we need? We know the technology works, and we've known for years. We've got every mineral that we need right here in the Northwest Minerals Province. We've got a skilled workforce. We've got a port for export. We've got a community crying out for more jobs. Hey, we have everything we need. We just need the government to get on board and start backing it. Do you know that the vast majority of solar panels that are used in Australia are made overseas? Like, doesn't that seem strange to you? We've got everything we need. We've got the best place in the world to use them, and they're being made overseas. Why aren't we making them here? You know, we could build a thriving export industry. We can power the country on solar and wind using solar panels and turbines that we build here in Australia. We can build more to export to our neighbours and start turning the whole Pacific region clean and green. We can start doing that. We just need our government to get on board. Instead, successive governments have squandered huge amounts of public money on the fossil fuels industry. In the last financial year alone, we've seen more than $11.6 billion, that's billion with a B, thrown away essentially on the fossil fuels industry. That's $22,139 every single minute. Like, that's a colossal amount of money. It's hard to even comprehend. Yet, that's being used to prop up industries that are directly causing the climate crisis. Imagine if we spent that on renewables instead. We could be powering the whole country on renewable energy in no time. Imagine if that funding was put into developing our hydrogen industry. We could have clean energy storage that underpins renewables and lets our country run fossil fuel free for the rest of time. It just makes sense. Instead, we've got a federal government so totally captured by the fossil fuel industry that the Prime Minister brought a lump of coal into Parliament. We've got a state government so totally captured by the fossil fuel industry that they're not only opposed to even the idea of taking coal-fired power plants offline, but they're going out of their way to approve even more fracking in the Channel Country. We deserve better, don't we? We deserve a clean energy future. We deserve a government that actually listens to everyday people like you and me. We deserve a government that puts the future of the planet over the desires of billionaires and big businesses that shower them with donations. And we can have that. You know, if we want a government that actually listens to us, we need to fight for it. There's one thing that moves governments, and there's one thing that politicians are deathly afraid of, and it's people power. There is nothing more powerful in this world than a grassroots people-powered movement. Together, we can make real positive change. Together, we can move our governments to be the clean and green governments that we want them to be. And if they don't move, well, this Saturday, we've got an option to change them. Like, this weekend, thank you, this Saturday, you've all got a choice to make. And it's a choice that's going to define climate action in this country for the next few years. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Solar Citizens have done up a scorecard ranking all of the parties in Parliament currently on their clean energy and clean transport policies. I think AYCC and North Queensland Conservation Council have also done their own scorecards. Grab one of those, have a look before you make a vote, and make a really, really informed choice. Because you know what? We can win. We can get the clean energy future that we want. And the only way we do that is if we do it together. So let's stop mucking around and let's get it done.